Hey everyone, Richard here, Metal Fan. Bring you guys a new 2015 album review, and we're going to be looking into a new album from, well, one of my favorite bands ever. And I don't think I've ever talked about them on this channel. Well, I mentioned them a little bit here and there. But anyway, as you can see by the title, we're going to be reviewing the 11th studio album from Cradle of Filth, entitled Hammer of the Witches, which comes out tomorrow. Actually, but I want to review it today since I actually heard the stream of it. Now, for those of you who don't know who Cradle of Filth are, they're an extreme metal band that formed in, I believe, 1991. Hard to believe they've been around for almost 25 years in Suffolk, England. Now, of course, this band has gone through so many different lineup changes, and, well, the only original member left in the band is vocalist Danny Filth. But yeah, they have can't speak today. They have a lot of different lineups. It has a first album with some new members. They have new guitar players Richard Saw and Marek Smirda, if I'm saying that right, and with an introduction to another new member, Lindsay Schoolcraft, who provides some vocals and female vocals and doing a little bit of harp thing, which is pretty cool. And now this album is the follow-up to 2012's The Manticore and Other Horrors. I think that's the album, could be mistaken. And what to say about this album is, I think this album is a step up from the album. It also marks as a little bit of a return of like the twin guitar leads. That's something that was missing from the last couple Cradle of Filth albums. And this album actually really surprised me. It's kind of like a step up. Kind of reminds you a little bit of some of their earlier stuff, simply like Principal Evil or Death Can Skin Her Embrace and Midian. But yeah, but let's get into this album. Now the album has starts off with a little intro called Walpurgis Eve, which starts off with a little symphonic intro. It sort of leads into the next song called Your Immortality, which also has a very kind of a classic feel. It almost kind of reminds you of something from Principle of Evil or even Dusk. And I really love the guitar leads from Richard and Marek. It's really great. And then we get to the next song, which is Enshrined in Crematoria, which is one of my favorite songs. It has a little bit of a gothic vibe to it, and I really dig that song a lot. Then we get to Deflowering the Maidenhead, Displeasuring the Goddess, which is like instrumentally, it's really great. Like the guitar playing from Richard Marek is good. The bass playing from Daniel Firth is great. The drumming from Martin Scarlupa is just wow. I mean, that dude's a really good drummer. Really love that a lot. Then we get to the next song called Blackest Magic in Practice. It has a very bit of a black metal feel, and no Cradle of Filth aren't black metal. Well, I can kind of see how they are with like the imagery and stuff, but I just consider them extreme metal. But yeah, it kind of reminds you a little bit of black metal almost, just straight up. And it has a little bit of symphonic elements to it, which makes it pretty great. And then we get to The Monstrous Sabbat, and then in parentheses, Summoning the Coven, which is kind of a little bit of an interlude. It sort of gives the album sort of like a little bit of an intermission, and some really great guitar playing from that. And then we get to the title track, Hammer of the Witches, which is pretty much the heaviest song on the album, and I think Danny Filth's vocals sound really great. He does a lot of different things vocally, like goes high screams and then sort of just like really just evil thing. I can't really describe it. It sounds pretty fucking badass. I love that. Then we get to Right Wing of the Garden Triptych, which is the album's first single and the first song I've heard of this album. And this is one of my favorite songs off the album. I really fucking dig this song. Then we get to The Vampire of My Side, which the song for me, listening to it, kind of reminds me of something I would hear from like some old horror movies like The Shining or whatever. Really dig that a lot. And then we get to one of my least favorite songs and one of the weakest songs of this album, in my opinion, which is Onward Christian Soldiers, which is just kind of meh. It just feels a little bit cheesy. But then, yeah, then the album sort of ends on a high note with the last song, Blooding the Hounds of Hell, which is just pretty much ends the whole album on a high note. Yeah. And now there are two bonus tracks, which is on the deluxe edition, which I didn't get a chance to hear, which are King of the Woods and Misericord, if I'm saying that right. It's sort of if I ever hear those songs, I'll probably will. If I get the album, I'll tell you what I think about it if I do an update. But anyway, overall, Hammer of the Witches by Cradle of Filth. It's a really good album. Sounds better than the last couple in my opinion. If I were to give this album a score, I'd give this probably about an 8.5 out of 10. So yep, that's my review of the new album, guys. Tell me what you guys think of the album. Hope to see you, excuse me, later in the next video. Keep it metal.